Good evening. You're watching Ukraine Brief on TVP World. It has been 1,388 days since Russia began its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. I'm Marie Cato, and here is the latest. Ukraine would join the EU in 2027 under the newly presented peace plan, according to the Financial Times. The newspaper also stressed on Friday that the move would transform the bloc's approach to admitting new members. The EU accession by January 1st, 2027 is included in the latest draft of the peace proposal presented to Washington by Ukrainian and European officials, sources briefed on the document's contents told the Financial Times. The plan is a revised version of the initial proposals the Trump administration put forth to end the war in Ukraine. The sources briefed on the peace plan said it would force Brussels to rethink its entire enlargement process, including rules on funding and voting rights. If the US backs the proposal, Hungary's Viktor Orban could be pushed by President Donald Trump to drop his veto on Ukraine's EU membership, the FT added. Although Ukraine became an official EU candidate soon after Russia's full-scale invasion, it's yet to complete any of the 36 required accession steps. Today, it is extremely important for Ukraine to achieve results on the front lines in order to gain diplomatic leverage, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said in a video address from war-torn Kupiansk, a city which is the chief of Russia's general staff has told Putin was under Russian control back in mid-November. Ukraine's military had previously denied losing the city. Furthermore, in recent days, Ukrainian forces have recaptured significant amounts of territory north of the city.
I congratulate these guys. I thank every unit, everyone who is fighting here, everyone who is destroying the occupiers. Today, it is extremely important to achieve results on the front lines, so that Ukraine can achieve results in diplomacy. That's how it works. All our strong positions within the country, strong positions in talks about ending the war. I am grateful to every soldier. I am proud of you. Thank you to all our ground forces. Today is your day. Thank you, guys. Glory to Ukraine.
Just days before President Zelenskyy's visit to Kupiansk, Ukrainian forces have cleared the city's northwestern outskirts of Russian units and isolated those that infiltrated the city itself. According to the Deep State Monitoring Group, Ukraine's military has successfully cleared the northwestern outskirts of Kupiansk, recapturing the villages of Mirne, Radikivka and Kitrashivka, and bringing Holubkivka under fire control. The Russian troops that managed to infiltrate the city are cut off from their core forces. Fighting continues in the city center, where remaining Russian units have been pushed into small enclaves. During a visit to Kupiansk on Friday, President Zelenskyy and Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrsky met with Ukrainian soldiers, congratulating them on the Day of Ukraine's Ground Forces and presenting state awards. Zelenskyy thanked the country's defenders for their service, emphasizing that their hard work day in and day out is what protects Ukraine's sovereignty and security. At least 3 people have been killed and several others wounded in Ukraine over the past day as Russian forces launched around 80 drones, with Ukraine's air defenses intercepting 64 of them overnight. 1 person was killed and at least 4 others were wounded in a drone strike on Pavlograd in the Dnipropetrovsk region in central eastern Ukraine. According to local authorities, 5 private houses caught fire amid the attack, and 1 of them was completely destroyed. Meanwhile, in the Donetsk region, 2 people were killed and 3 others wounded. And in the Kharkiv region, 6 people were injured. The attacks damaged administrative and residential buildings and vehicles, including a gas station. Another overnight Russian drone strike targeted infrastructure in the southern Ukraine port city of Odesa. The attack has left parts of the city without electricity or water. And this afternoon, 2 Russian kamikaze drones struck a sports school in the northern town of Shostka of the Sumy region while children were in training. All children and coaches were safely evacuated. No injuries were reported. The regional governor said it was a deliberate strike on a location where children were present. Today, Russia launched a missile strike on Ukraine's Odesa region, targeting a Turkish civilian vessel in the port of Chornomorsk. Russia's launched drone and missile strikes on Ukrainian ports in the Odesa region, damaging 3 Turkish-flagged vessels and injuring at least 1 person. Ukraine's deputy prime minister says the attacks targeted civilian logistics and commercial shipping, hitting port infrastructure that supports global food and cargo transport. Turkish President Erdoğan has suggested a limited ceasefire to Vladimir Putin, focused on protecting energy facilities and key seaports. During their meeting on the sidelines of an international forum in Turkmenistan, Erdoğan suggested a limited ceasefire to Vladimir Putin with a focus on protecting energy facilities and key ports. The leaders also discussed the situation in Ukraine and Russian assets frozen within the EU. Erdoğan assured Turkey is ready to host talks in any format. And that concludes Ukraine Brief. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for much more on TVP World and tvpworld.com. Goodbye.